blue in color? Because you know that sky is actually at the angle of 90 degree when you look up, and because air is a whole colloidal solution, and the sun rays and other lights are entering into the air, and at the angle of 90 degree we are seeing actually the whole universe is dark. Okay, and air is a colloidal one, and a dark room you are sitting, passing the light through that air, and you are watching that solution at the angle of 90 degrees while standing on the earth looking up to the sky. And now this sky is appearing as a blue color solution. So the color is basically depending upon, and sometimes you can see that because of the, you know, the clouds are there, the particle changes, the vapors will come, and the color changes to red and orange also. So depending upon the different types of particle size and the wavelength of the light, I can show you the many different, we can discuss many different colors. Okay, and the color of the colloidal solution depends upon the wavelength of the light striking the dispersed phase particle. Okay, so whatever the light you are taking, which, but if you are taking the monochronic light, the effect will be different. If you are taking the polychronic light, the effect will be different. The wavelength of the light further depends upon the size and the nature of the particle. Okay, the color of the colloidal solution also changes with this manner. Okay, from where and for which angle you are observing it. And the very good example on the size particle is the gold soul. The finest gold soul is red in color. You know, when you powder the gold, like anything, and the particle size becomes so, I mean, very less. It's in the range of the colloidal. It is more than 1 nanometer, but it's very less. The most least or the most fine gold particle, the size of the particle increases, and it start changing its color. So when you take the gold soul particle at a very minute size, you will see that color is red, and gradually as the size of the particle start increasing, it become purple, and soon it become blue, and the larger gold particle, they finally give you the golden color. Okay, I can show you the slide. So this is the size depends upon the change in the gold soul. So we can see that different gold soul colloidal souls hai ye, and you can see that the golden color and the blue color, that depending upon the size of the particle. Obviously the largest size particles are this in this funnel, and the which one which is red in color, okay, that is the most finest one, and the largest particles are give you the golden color. So different colors shades have been shown to you. Then you have the Brownian movement, already discussed, that the particle of the colloidal solution, all colloidal particles of the colloidal soul or colloidal, you know, emulsion, they always in the zigzag motion, and this zigzag motion is known as the Brownian movement. Smaller the size and lesser the viscosity, faster is the movement. Obviously the size, if the size is smaller and the solution is less viscous, then more Brownian movement can be seen. Okay, and Brownian movement can be seen also when you see the Tyndall effect. So when the light passes into it, and we can see the Brownian movement also. Then charge on the colloidal particle. The colloidal particles are the charged particle. Colloidal particle always carry electric charge. The nature of this charge is same on all the particles in a given colloidal solution, and may be either or positive or negative. Yes, as you know that blood is your positive charge colloidal soul, and when we talk about ferric chloride dissolved in a water, they give ferric hydroxide soul, and they are again positive. On the same side, if I'll talk about arsenic sulfide soul, which is produced by arsenic oxide when dissolved in hydrogen sulfide gas. So the hydrogen sulfide souls are negatively charged. Similarly, when you dissolve ferric chloride particles into the NaOH solution, so they give you the negative charge souls. So depending upon, the cation or anion adsorbed at the surface of the particle, okay, while doing the peptidization process, the different colloidal soul acquire different charge, okay, and this is the reason is given. The charge on the soul particle is due to one or more reason, due to the electron capture by the soul particle during the electrodispersion of the metal, or due to the adsorption of the ion from the solution during the or the formation of the double layer, that is the Holmes layer. Okay, now the next is this is again a very important fact, that when silver nitrate solution is added to the potassium iodide solution, this is one of the example, good example, the precipitated silver iodide adsorb iodide ion from the dispersion medium and negatively charged colloidal solution results. Okay, means when you are adding silver nitrate solution to the potassium iodide, you have already made the solution of potassium iodide and now you are pouring silver nitrate on it, then silver iodide particle, it's going to adsorb iodide negative ion on it and become a negative charge soul. Similarly, when you take when you add Ki to the AgNO3 solution, you have already prepared AgNO3 solution, now you are pouring Ki on it, just opposite to this test tube. This test tube is different, just opposite to the first one, and you are pouring Ki on AgNO3. The AgI is going to adsorb silver ion on it, and that is why it become a positive charge soul. The presence of equal and similar charge in a colloidal is largely responsible providing the stability of the colloidal solution. Yes, one of the important reason behind the stability of the colloidals, that both the charges are equal on it. We have all discussed. Electrophoresis is a method where we can find the charge on the colloidal, as well as this is the process where we can also do the coagulation of the colloidal. Coagulation or the precipitation. Coagulation or the precipitation is a process by which we can make the colloidal particle suspended or convert colloidal solution into the suspension. And it is easy to coagulate the lyophobic solution rather than the lyophilic, because lyophobic are most unstable type, and that can be done by using simple persisting dialysis. If you prolong the dialysis, it can settle down by adding electrolyte. If you are adding another amount of electrolyte, uh, then the particle may collides, or the particle may be settle down, with the exception of the opposite charge anion. Okay, so opposite charge anion also responsible for the settle down of the colloidal particles. Then coagulation of the lyophobic sol is very it's not very difficult, but it's not impossible, but it's difficult also. And it can be done by adding the electrolyte, or it can be by using suitable solvent like ether and alcohol and acetone. So you can precipitate the lyophilic solution also. The protection of the colloidals, की जहाँ तक हम बात करें, so lyophilics are themselves very stable, but lyophobic is to be stabilized by adding the lyophilic, that can, and their stability can be counted as a gold number. And the last topic of the chapter is the emulsion. Emulsions are the liquid colloidal system, and it is of two types. When you add water to the oil or oil to the water, they are not the same thing. Okay, where in one case oil disperse in water, means oil is acting as a dispersed phase and water is a dispersed medium, where on the other side water is a dispersed phase and oil is a dispersed medium. So different examples are there. In a first system, I can tell you the example like milk. Milk is having more water and less fats are there. And in the another example like cream, in talk about butter and cream, So less amount of water is there, which is acting as a dispersed phase, and the oil is in the dispersed medium. So these are the two examples of emulsion. And I mean, to keep, oil and water intact, you have to always put some emulsifying agent. Suppose for this, I can give you one more example. You can do it at home. That take a water in a glass and try to add drops of oil in it. Try to mix it while shaking it. You will find that while shaking, the drops break down into droplets, but after some time it recollect and make a one single drop of the oil, means it's not going to mix, it's immiscible. But when you add a single or a pinch of the surf or the washing detergent or any kind of soap, okay, shampoo, to the glass of water, and now shake the all the drops of the oil, and the droplets of the oil are not going to mix together, and they keep themselves as a, as a colloidal, or the totally they are separated or disposed in the um, your water, and this is called the miscible or the colloidal one. So that what you have done, you add the emulsifying agent. So even to keep the ice cream, okay, so fats in the milk, you have to add some emulsifying agent. So whatever ice cream, chocolates you are eating, they are all are having the emulsifying agent. And emulsifying agents, we add in ice cream and a chocolates, maybe the gelatin, okay. And that is why, so in many food items, all the food items, they have showing you, they are the example of colloids. And everyone is, if they are having their preservatives, they have their emulsifying agents, okay. So these are the different examples. So and with this slide, and thank you all. Any question, any query, you can ask on my personal chat. Thank you.